thank the Lord for another blessed day. Hope and pray all is well with everybody, and I just thank the Lord. I got to redo this video. I don't know what happened to it a minute ago, but nevertheless, I don't have no problem redoing it. And we was talking about heaven. The Bible speaks of more than one heaven. And one, first of all, I'm not here to debate, about how many heavens there are. I'm just going to tell you what the Bible says. And then in this video, you're going to understand that I'm talking about 3 different heavens right here. But if you want to leave those negative comments and trying to debate like many men say, I'm not here to play spiritual volleyball. And y'all just bear with me and excuse my voice because we was in the musical earlier and I kind of, done lost my voice. But that's not going to stop me from doing this video. It's almost about 4:30 in the morning and I'm just wired up. And big shout out to you, Joe, had a good question on me doing this video. You wanted me to answer your questions in this video. So let's just dive right into it now. First of all, we should all know by now about the first heaven, which is in Genesis. I tell anybody, Genesis chapter 1, you can go through verses 1 through 20. The Bible speaks of these different heavens. And Genesis 1:1, we already know, said that God created the heavens and earth. First of all, you look at that heavens, that's plural. Now the first heaven we talking about here, I'm going to just break this down where a baby could understand it. It's the atmosphere around the earth. We're talking about rain, the birds, the sky, the clouds. Beginning, remember he said he created all things and it was made good. Even when we look at the flood of Noah's time, that was, they never saw rain before. Noah never even saw rain before, but Noah was obedient. He did what God said, do. And I'm not trying to jump off subject, but just tying the rain in with the atmosphere because they never seen rain before. And once again, the Bible is not confusion. We take it and we confuse it with everything else. First of all, God is not the author of confusion, but he is the author of peace. That's why I want to explain this, and to God be the glory. That's the first heaven. We look at water, Remember it said in Genesis 7:11 says the windows of heaven were open. Windows of heaven were open. And that's why we see the rain came down. So once again, first heaven, the atmosphere, the rain, the sky, the birds, the clouds. Now let's move on. That's the first heaven the Bible speaks of. That's why I'm putting these scriptures out here. You can read it for yourself. The second heaven is referred to as outer space. And you can go to Exodus 32:13, refers to the stars of heaven, the outer space, or the stars. So stars are not in the skies from which where the rain fall, like it was talking about in the first heaven. These are different locations. See, space, but in space is beyond the atmosphere, which is what we was talking about in the first heaven. And you can go to Nehemiah 9:6. Also refers to the space as heaven. So you look at these two, they are different. That's why you got the first heaven, then you got the second heaven right here. And when you look at this second heaven, this is when you look at the sun, the moon, and the stars. See, they are different than the first heaven. That atmosphere right there. You notice, see, you can get a telescope and you can look and see the stars even a little closer. But that is way away, far away. So when you look at the rain and the clouds and the birds, that's different from the sun, the moon, and the stars. I ain't never seen where a bird can fly way to the moon. Not to jump off subject. So now let's go to the third heaven, which is what Paul was talking about in Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 12, I believe verses 1 through 4. Paul called it paradise, I believe in verse 4. And that word comes from Greek, which is referring to a park or a garden, but not just any park or garden. This garden, is the magnificent one. I don't know about y'all, but I just want to just walk through there. I get happy thinking about this third heaven, hallelujah, which is what Paul was talking about. Now, when we look at this third heaven right here, This is where God dwells. Oh, Bible teaches us this. Let me give you these scriptures. This is where God dwells. I like to say it when he dwells with his angels. It's the magnificent garden. And when you look at this, you can look at this in Deuteronomy 10, 14 and 1. You can go to 1 Kings 8:27. Psalms, the 115th chapter of Psalms, verse 16. This is outer space. This is past outer space. Gotta be. Past the stars. I like to call this another planet. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna agree with that. But I like to call this a whole nother planet. I haven't been there back then to see what it looked like. But I tell y'all this, brothers and sisters, I want to be there. I want to be in paradise. Even when you go to Revelations chapter 4, it reveals that God's throne is in heaven. But a lot of people are going to say, well, which heaven? Obviously, y'all, God's throne, where God's throne is, it can't be in the sky. It can't be where the birds are flying at, where the furs heaven we were talking about now. Nor shouldn't it be in outer space, which is what we was talking about in the second heaven. When you look at what Paul was saying, this was beautiful. This has got to be a whole nother location, a whole nother planet. The third heaven, where God dwells himself. That's where I want to be at with God. I don't know, y'all. I try to tell folks, with all this deceiving going on, you should want to dwell with God. I don't know about y'all. I done been through so much stuff in my life. I can't wait to see the Maker. So when you look at the first heaven, let me just break this down where a kid could understand. It's the first heaven in Genesis, the atmosphere, the rain, the clouds, the birds, the sky. Now, second heaven, the stars, the moon, outer space, sun, moon, stars. That's the second heavens, the outer space. Third heavens, where God dwells himself, past outer space and the stars. Past the atmosphere with the rain, the sky, the birds, and the cloud. That's why y'all always hear me say in my videos, being with God, dwelling with the Father. When I be talking about the secret rapture, about this secret, quit gambling with your soul and playing around thinking you're going to get a secret way. Like I be telling folks, they laugh at me when they say, well, I'm going to be caught up in the clouds and I'm going on in the sky. Well, if that's where you want to go, that's fine. But I don't want to go in the sky because I know where God's throne is, what it's teaching me here in this third heaven. It's past the skies. It's past the outer space. Wherever it is. Whatever planet is on. See, people going to debate about it's a planet, it's a dimension, such and such this. I'm not here to debate. I'm going to just put it to you like this. Wherever God is, that's where I want to be at. I know right here it teaches us about 3 different heavens. Now you're going to have debate about it, 4 or 5 more and all that. JT not here to debate. So you can keep those comments. I'm just here to tell what the Bible say. And hope everybody can be blessed from this. God bless you.